right, hope everyone's doing well. House of Payne fans, this video came from a live stream I did last night. I think this was the Instagram live, if I'm not mistaken. Go check it out. Links to all my social media are in the description below. Hit the subscribe button to help me reach 150,000 by the end of the year. Hit the bell notification icon and select all so you allow all notifications so you know when I post new content. And finally, let's get this video to 50 likes, so go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. The idea was, hey Jeremy, do you think Miranda might be pregnant? And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? But then the conversation went further, and quite possibly it's one of those situations where Miranda could be pregnant from that cliffhanger ending of episode 8 from Heart to Heart, where Miranda and Calvin are at the condo and then they start kissing. It's like, oh, I knew you missed me. Yet that has not been referenced in the past, like, what was it, 4 to 5 episodes, however many episodes came afterwards. So we never knew what happened. We don't know if they had sex, if they just made out. There's been no follow-up from that at all. And I've done like at least a couple videos talking about that. But in the off chance, do you think that Miranda and Calvin had sex, and as a result, Miranda's pregnant by him? That would be... I would honestly hate for that to happen, because of the fact it's like when Miranda sees Laura over at Ella's house, Ella and Curtis's house, and then when Miranda walks in on Laura and Calvin kissing, which, to be fair, I haven't done my episode review yet. How come that wasn't brought up in the last episode? That wasn't. I mean, I thought we'd pick up where we left off, but no, we have Miranda barging in, and yet, see, that's the problem with the show, where it's not always a situation where the next episode picks up directly where the last one left off, but it really does hurt when the cliffhanger is such a big deal, but it's not addressed. It's ridiculous, because of the fact that if Miranda and Calvin had sex at the end of episode 8, and like I said, and in the time between episode 8 and 9, I'm like, that's a huge plot point. It's like, did Miranda and Calvin have sex, or did they just kiss a few times, and maybe Miranda really thought they were getting back together, whereas Calvin just had like a moment of weakness, and it's like, I'm still dating Laura and whatnot. And then there's a huge misunderstanding there where, yes, Miranda's the one who came on to Calvin, but it's an honest conflict, honest conflict of the interpretation of what happened between the two. And as a result, I can see why Miranda would be justified in being upset. However, that isn't the case. They've done a poor job of writing Miranda, and I might do a separate video like how to fix Miranda, because I do not like the way she's being written this season whatsoever. I feel like, if nothing else, this show has definitely leaned more into the comedy than the drama and storytelling. Now, again, I'm not saying that the first 8 seasons of House of Payne were, like haves and have-nots level drama in regards to like the first couple seasons of the Haves and Have-Nots or the Oval. But at the same time, House of Payne had a good balance. Now, on the other side of that coin, Meet the Browns, heavily more comedic, but they still had good story elements to keep you engaged. Like, you didn't have to watch every flipping episode, but there were some story arcs, like, what was it, Joaquin, that predator that was after him, and then Will may or may not have let him die on the table, then that led to his suspension and stuff like that. See, there were like story arcs that were happening, and Cor becoming a teacher, and then dating Reggie, and then possibly the principal, things like that, where it wasn't like these massive story arcs that you had to watch every week to understand it, but everything flowed together nicely. But with House of Payne, it's like, you are making the character, and I've said this many times in other shows, but in other reviews, it's like you're taking these characters, these well-established characters, and you're making them into caricatures of themselves. I sound like Medea. Caricatures? Tyler, he's making caricatures of the characters. But it's like one of those situations where if Miranda ended up pregnant by Calvin from that moment of passion they had together, that would be two things. Just a poor excuse to get them back and who's to say they have to get back together? Because of the fact that, imagine this, Laura and Miranda, their friendship is terminated, which honestly, I don't even think they're good friends to begin with, which again will be its own video. But at the same time, it's like, you would just be rehashing the CJ and Janine storyline, which was done way better, I might add. It's like, oh, Miranda's pregnant from that one night stand she had with Calvin, and now they're going to get back together. No, that's stupid. I feel like Tyler would be spitting in the face of the long-term fans by doing that. And I mean, yeah, Miranda was a problematic character in the original series, but at the same time, you could see her and Calvin both being in the wrong. But Miranda did do some foul stuff, like, what was it, lying about being pregnant or losing a baby or something, and, you know, wanting the divorce. She's pulled the, I wanted to say the D card, but I don't think that's appropriate because of misinterpretation. But she's been pulling the divorce card and whatnot more times than Calvin. And I'm not saying Calvin didn't put her through some stuff. I'm not going to sit up here and say that, but Miranda's foul as well. But I feel like, if nothing else, the way the show's being written right now, it's like Miranda's being this whiny adult To be honest, I feel, and I never thought I'd be saying this, but Miranda's being written to be more childish than Curtis. Yeah, believe it or not, that's how it's being written right now. And then you have Ella, who's trying to put, I don't like what they're doing with Ella in regards to the situation with Miranda. It's like, I would not appreciate my mom doing what Ella's doing in regards to, like, well, if you love him, tell him. Ella, she has talked with Calvin at least 3 times already. It seems pretty clear that he's moved on. And basically, it's the whole thing about, I want him back, I want him back. You effed up. And Miranda, I applaud you for talking with Calvin. You opened your heart, but he's ready to move on. That's it. See, I'm dipping my toe into the other videos I was going to do, but like I said, they'll be separate. But if Miranda is pregnant by Calvin, again, stupid writing, because you never mention, because remember, after, like I think I said this earlier in the video, like with Miranda walking in on him and Laura and this and that, if they really had sex, Miranda would have said something. It's like, so 1 minute you're having sex with me and now you're dating my best friend. See what I mean? That would have been brought up, but Tyler just put that at the end of episode 8, and now it's just been forgotten. So if it's brought up again, only if it's discovered Miranda's pregnant, that would just make no sense whatsoever. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think it's a possibility Miranda's pregnant based on the cliffhanger of episode 8, where her and Calvin are making out in the condo, even though that's never been brought up again since that moment? I think that would be awful. It would just be terrible. And yeah, with that being said, thanks so much for tuning into the video. If you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month, just to show your support for the channel. You know, like I said, really haven't been posting on Patreon a lot, but I do appreciate those who sign up for Patreon just for the sake of, hey, I just want to send a couple bucks your way each month to show I appreciate what you do. And with that being said, leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll talk to you soon.